Okay. Welcome to our chat today. Welcome everybody that's on here. We are going to talk today about Peter Deadman's new app, the Jing Self-Care App. And I was just talking to you and I said, I keep telling everybody it is your app, but there's a whole team of you guys. Yes? How many are there that have been working on this app? Because you guys have been working really hard on this app.
Okay, so the first things I tell people now, if I ever say I'm going to get involved in developing another app, they should shoot me because
It's been that
oh, they are a nightmare. I mean, if anybody on here is thinking of producing an app, talk to somebody who's done it, or talk to me, because of all the pitfalls. But so yeah, three of us are behind the app. Myself, Tom Kennedy, who's kind of the main mover, especially with all the digital work and managing the digital development. Another friend and colleague called John Quall, who's recently done a PhD on how to what degree acupuncturists recommend lifestyle change. Because obviously it's a new buzzy thing, even in the medical profession, beginning to understand that actually lifestyle advice, lifestyle education is a core part of patient care. And she wanted to demonstrate to the wider medical profession how valuable acupuncturists can be in delivering that. And that first step was to find out how many actually did it. And of course, the answers, as we would expect, is most acupuncturists do deliver lifestyle advice as part of the medicine.
Yeah.
So it was actually Tom who came up with the idea.
Okay, I was wondering that.
2 years ago now, because we have, I don't know whether you have the same profession in the States or you give it the same name. We have physiotherapists. I'm just going to quit my email so it stops.
Yeah. Physiotherapists. Yeah, we have like physical therapists.
Yeah. So, same. If you need remedial treatment, you apply to your GP, and about 5 years later, you get an appointment to go and see a physiotherapist, and they give you exercises. But what they still do, and certainly we're doing in the past, they give you a badly drawn sketch to convey what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Somebody in the physiotherapy profession had come up with an app, very, very obvious, of videos. So the physiotherapist could prescribe particular videos to the patient. So that was the starting point. And then we thought, okay, this is Chinese medicine is ideally suited to taking that idea and expanding it. And so I think I'd like, before I just talk about what's in the app and how it works, maybe just the reason that I'm involved and I'm interested. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
So actually, I began my working life after a period of very enjoyable and dissolute hippodom. I started a natural food business and was inspired by getting sick at the end of a period of traveling, hepatitis, and discovering the macrobiotic diet, which was quite a big thing at the time in the early 70s. Everybody was talking about it. John Lennon publicized it a lot, and it was a kind of Japanese-based natural food diet. People probably know, or I don't know how it's well known as is now.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I was living in Los Angeles for a long time, so I have everything there.
It promised that if you balance yin yang in your diet and eat lots of brown rice and vegetables and seaweed and miso and pretty sensible stuff, you could potentially cure problems and prevent problems. I really needed some help then. There's
Mhm.
really no effective Western medicine for hepatitis, which is what I had. So I got very involved in that, and I started a business with a natural food store and a natural food restaurant and all that kind of thing. And it was an idealistic project. I mean, it was a business, but we knew absolutely nothing running a business. So it was all on that wave of 70s idealism, to offer low-cost natural foods to our community to help people eat well and to help people eat healthily. So it was kind of foundation of my interest in healthy lifestyle and preventive care.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when I got tired of running a food business, I went to study Chinese medicine, and I was very strongly influenced by a doctor who actually ended his life in New York, John Shen, Dr.
Oh.
John Shen,
Mhm.
who was quite old. I think when he was born in China.
Mhm.
His wealthy parents escaped communism and moved to Taiwan. And he was probably the most extraordinary doctor I've ever met. And that is another subject,
Yeah.
a big subject. But what I learned from him is he said, really, the first question you ask the patient, well, first question he asked is, why is this person ill?
Mhm.
Was
Mhm.
what are the behaviors or history that have
Mhm.
led this person to become ill? So that became very important consideration for me in my practice.
Mhm.
It's treatment, of course, diagnosis and treatment, but on a deeper level, what is it that has brought this person to this point, and what might be changed, or what might need to change to help them get better.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's multifactorial, but
Yes.
very often it's emotional disharmony
Yes.
or dietary disharmony or overwork or lack of exercise or
Yes.
all those things we know about, and then another constellation of things around that. And the more you pay attention, I think, as a practitioner, the better you get at homing in
Yes.
on what those factors are. So
Yes.
that led me, and obviously a lot of practitioners, to want to give lifestyle advice. Do this exercise, do this qigong, practice deep breathing, massage these points, eat this type of food. And of
Mhm.
course, we all know if it ever happens to us, we think, we explain very carefully in the limited time available. And then when we're in a situation when the shoe is on the other foot, we discover that 5 minutes after leaving the clinic,
God.
forgotten it. Where was that point? Where was it? So it's not an effective way of delivering that help, that vital help, that transformative help. And that was the thinking behind the app.
Yeah. I love that. Not to mention how, like, supporting someone to change their lifestyle habits is probably one of the most challenging things that you can do with your patients, because people are so attached to their identity through their lifestyle habits.
Absolutely. And so, there's two levels. There's one offering people skillful help
Mhm.
relating specifically to their condition. So, for example, there are 5 main categories of videos and educational material in that. There's self-massage, there's acupressure, there's qigong, there's
Mhm.
meditation, and there's diet. And each one has got lots of content. The diet, for example, the dietary recipes are pattern-based. So we have
Mhm.
recipes for people with lots of damp and phlegm, and recipes for people with Qi deficiency and so on. So
Mhm.
there's offering the skillful information, which is the first step. And the second step is compliance. And
Mhm.
everybody that works in the field of health education recognizes that that is really tricky, because,
Yeah.
without going, well, it is, yeah, it's deep. I mean, I think most of us are not well integrated, which means that we have a part of us, usually a very conscious part, that wants to get better, wants to live healthily, wants to do the right thing. And then we have a deeper, more unconscious part that works 180 degrees against it, that undermines it.
Yeah.
And that makes compliance quite difficult. So something that we've included, and also we're going to continue working on, is and offering, is a lot of the latest thinking about how to get patients to, or how to get people to actually put into practice. I mean, one of the things, the simplest thing that's included in the app is a kind of cheeky reward system,
Oh, smart.
well done, so what happens is that the practitioner subscribes to the app and has all this content,
Mm-hmm.
and the patient get accesses a free version of the app,
Mm-hmm.
and then the practitioner prescribes, and that comes through on the patient's version of the app with, things like, please do this 3 times a week, 5 times a week, and when they do it, they get, well done, you've done it,
That's smart. Mm-hmm.
star, 5 stars, and, level 1, level 2, level 3.
Yeah. Are there notifications to remind your patients to do their homework?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I have to say I'm hazy about some of the details of the app because I'm not in practice now, so I don't use it.
Yeah.
I've been sat in on all the endless discussions about
Yeah.
what exactly we're doing and how to improve it. I'm sure there are
Yeah.
reminders, absolutely.
Well, people can find all the details on the website of the app also. We can talk more just about the whole reason people need this app. And I would like to tell you too, that when I put out the word on my social media and email that we were going to chat about your Jing app, there was a handful of practitioners that replied and left responses and said that they're already using the app and that they love it and that their patients love it.
Yeah.
So everybody has praised it so far. And a lot of people were really interested too.
Well, so it's win-win all around, because it helps the practitioner. So the practitioner
Yeah.
brands what the patient sees. So it doesn't come from Jing, it comes from the practitioner, with their headshot and their CV and their message and communication. And for the people who use it, so one reason patients like it is because they feel that their practitioner is more invested
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in helping them and getting them well. So
Yeah.
in terms of what a practitioner is offering a patient, it's like just a whole added area of
Yeah.
help and assistance.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I mean, I coach the acupuncturist all the time on the importance of follow-ups for everything. For everything. You have to lead and guide your patient. So your app that you've created really takes the lead for so much of that. So it is really beneficial business-wise. I can absolutely see how this could help someone's business. A lot of practitioners, as we know, are solo practitioners, and there's so much to do as a solo practitioner. I always teach them you have to have the systems for everything you're doing. And so you've basically created the system for giving your patients homework that will help them with their healing.
Yeah. And you're also going, hey, I'm a lovely, caring practitioner.
Yeah. exactly.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
we
it's genuine.
are,
It's not
but we're
fake.
also very busy.
Not fake. It's genuine, but it's
Yeah,
a
but
the
it
right
is the
thing.
tool to
Yeah.
showcase how much you care.
We're going back. So I noticed Tom just did a little message because he's
Oh,
watching.
oh,
So
Tom, yeah, he sends the notification options. Oh, great.
okay,
Okay,
so he can
yeah.
chip in with any of those um, little details. Talking about the difficulties of the app, I mean, it took a long time, and
Yeah, when did you start?
well, I'm terrible on time.
But it was at least like 3, 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly, 3 or 4
Yeah.
years. And we made a mistake. So this is one thing I'd advise in case there's anybody listening who's thinking of developing an app. We made the mistake of working with a single developer. That's really not a good idea. You really need a team. So, we had the whole app developed, and then we discovered that really there were problems with it. We had to come up with a completely new development, this time using a team. That took 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
An Indian team of developers, and so much detail to figure out. But the main thing is that we have just constantly, any money we've got in from the app and more has gone into upgrading and
That.
developing. And that's a constant process for us because we want to make it the best we can.
So it is going to be constantly in progress, as our businesses always are. So
Yes,
yeah, so that's fine. Also, too, I think it's really inspiring that you guys have been working at this for such a long time, and you didn't give up, because that too, as we know, when these practitioners are building their practices, is a mindset that you need to adapt or adopt, is to navigate all the challenges that are always going to come up with whatever business that you're building, and not let it completely defeat you.
I'm really into qigong, and I teach qigong a lot, practice a lot, and teach a lot. So in my class, the last 2 weeks, we've been doing tiger qigong. In the system that I know, the tiger qigong belongs to the liver, and it taps into that middle way in liver qi between passivity and aggression, and that middle way is confidence, assertiveness, determination, clarity of purpose, going out into the world, and not giving up.
Yeah.
And it's not really relevant to this, just because it happened yesterday and it made me laugh. My shower suddenly blocked up. The water wasn't flowing away.
Oh no.
So I'm quite. I've done a lot of plumbing. I've done a lot of. So I did everything I know. I plunged it and I poured stuff down it, and I tried putting a wire
Hanger.
down it,
Yeah.
or and it didn't work.
Oh
It was
no.
completely blocked. So then I thought, okay, and I went and did my qigong practices, and I was doing a bit of tiger, see, and then just in the middle of doing it, I thought I'm gonna have another go, and I went back and like with tiger energy, I got the plunger and I just
You
really,
unplugged it.
really worked it, and it broke through. It was like breaking through stagnation. It was so wonderful.
See, never give up.
Never give up. Exactly. Otherwise, I'd have had to call somebody and
And pay them.
hundreds of
Yes,
dollars.
utilize your tools. It's funny, as you're saying that, it makes me think that every practitioner actually needs to get this app and assign homework to themselves as well. Because the self-care of an acupuncturist is so important, and you're talking about utilizing your tools.
Absolutely. So, it's another slight digression, but I think it's quite an important one. I got very interested, like a lot of people, a lot of people in our field, in the autonomic nervous system, It's a lovely expression of yin yang, and the growing understanding that people more and more are locked into varying degrees of sympathetic activation through stress, economic stress, emotional stress, political stress, especially now, political stress, my God, world stress, climate change stress, and that is a component of or underlies a great deal of chronic disease.
Yes, 100%.
Because it creates cell inflammation, and we know cell inflammation is really one of the key parts of chronic disease. So there are two things that come out of that. One is the ability to offer our patients tools to return to parasympathetic state. That includes slow, deep breathing. It includes meditation, and it includes Qigong, which are part of what we're offering. Another really powerful way, and it's terribly interesting for us as practitioners, is the observation that the more that we, the practitioner, is in true parasympathetic state, which is characterized by being calm and centered, and open and friendly
and confident.
What we're doing is we're giving off messages, some of them quite subtle. Our facial expression, the way the muscles in our face work, the way we speak, the rhythm and pace of the speech, our ability to be quiet and to listen. So these are, if you could see them, if you could visualize them in the air between, you're sitting there with the patient, they're kind of radiating out from us to the patient, and they're an invitation to the patient to let go of that sympathetic dominant state.
Yeah.
And it may be that for a lot of people, we're the only person they encounter that's offering that invitation. If they have a stressful home life and a stressful work life. So that explains why, one of the reasons why complementary medicine practitioners can, almost irrespective of what they do, can be really helpful.
Yeah.
It's not just the treatment, and it may, in some cases, may be actually more important and more powerful than the treatment. But also it's an invitation to the practitioner to self-cultivation. So coming back to what you said, for the practitioner to practice self-care.
Yep.
I know you meditate a lot. That's a really powerful way of achieving that.
Yep. But yes, acupuncturist self-care is everything. And, I always tell them too, it's also so important because you want your energy behind what you're telling your patient to be authentic. So going back to your app, if you're prescribing all of this healthy homework for them, you want to feel really authentic when you're giving it to them because you practice it yourself and it's really helped your life and your health as well. So the acupuncturist also taking care of themselves is absolutely number one. That's exactly what I tell practitioners too.
Yeah, it's number one because quite unusually in medicine, I would say, there are other branches of medicine like psychotherapy, but for most practitioners, you are alone in a room with a whole host of sick people, one after the other.
Sick people.
You're not in a buzzy clinic with nurses and doctors. You're not having chats in the corridor. You're not having flirtations with the,
not like Grey's Anatomy, the TV show.
Yeah, the handsome surgeon or that, the gorgeous nurse, or you're on your own. So it's demanding on our resources of compassion and resilience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and your app is a way to save a practitioner's energy because it takes pretty much all of our energy to take care of our patients. And so
Yeah.
we cannot use a lot of energy for other things. So streamlining systems like that is completely helpful for the, busy solo practitioner doing everything in their practice.
Yeah.
Um,
Just going back to your thing about authentic, you're absolutely right, but we mustn't set the bar too high. I mean,
wait, what do you mean? Why not?
well,
Yes, we should.
we're not perfect.
No, you don't
Not
have to be
perfect.
perfect, but you
Mhm.
can be authentic.
Yeah, and being authentic actually with the patient might mean, in the right situation, revealing your own difficulties with.
Yes, exactly.
That's
Yes.
authentic. I
Yes.
remember the lovely story about Mahatma Gandhi. Um, a woman brought her little boy to see him and said to Mahatma, please tell my boy to stop eating so many sweets. It's not good for him. His teeth are falling out. And Gandhi said, okay, come back in 3 days. So she didn't understand why. So she went back in 3 days and he said, young man, you must stop eating sugar. It's not good for you. And she said, why did I have to come back in 3 days? He said, well, I had to stop eating sugar first myself.
About.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, we're not perfect, but always be working towards health and wellness yourself. Get acupuncture yourself so that when you do prescribe treatment plans, prescribe, dietary things or qigong things or stuff, that it does come from that authentic place. Also, the practitioner really understanding the impact that that has on someone's healing. That's a question for you. How important do you think it is that practitioners have their patients work on these things, on lifestyle habits?
Well, sometimes it's so important that a patient will not get better if
Yeah.
they don't change. You know, I remember, so I, with another team, worked for 5 years on editing a book on the treatment of, God, it's got such a long title, I can never remember it, but it's a gynecology and infertility textbook
Oh, yes. Yes, that
written
book.
by this fantastic lady Chinese doctor who's just a brilliant Western medicine doctor and a brilliant Chinese medicine doctor. And we did an interview for her to promote the book. And I asked her, do you give lifestyle advice to your patients?
Mm-hmm.
She's in her 70s, but actually, like a lot of older Chinese women, she's quite scary. And she slammed her hand down on the table and said, of course. And she said, you have a patient, for example, and this is just one very specific example. You
Mm-hmm.
have a woman who wants to become pregnant. Maybe she's in her early 30s or mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
She's a professional woman. She leads a very, very stressful life,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And she said, I tell them, if you want to get pregnant, you have to
Mm-hmm.
change everything. You know, it's just that because it's real. That is the
True.
actual
Yeah,
truth.
it's true.
That's the truth. It's hard. It's very
Yeah.
hardcore. But so, I mean, if we talked about the kind of things that contribute to that feed sickness.
Yeah.
Not getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
overworking,
Yeah.
um, not taking enough exercise, taking too much exercise, and so on. And
Mm-hmm.
it may be that unless those things change, the patient won't get better.
Yep.
Because however magical we think acupuncture is, and it sometimes is, it's a 20, 30-minute intervention once a week.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Exactly.
every single minute of the rest of the week, the patient is living their life.
Yep.
Going out of the clinic and kind of rushing off somewhere and gritting their teeth and
Yeah.
whatever it is, or going straight to a bar and drinking 7 beers, or, you know.
Yeah, and I think what's such an important point too that is practitioners forget how much our patients don't know, and what seems like such common and simple information to us. A lot of times practitioners hold back on that because, they feel self-conscious talking about that stuff because it just feels silly to them. Whereas that's some of the most important stuff to talk to your patients about.
You are
Being
absolutely
brutally honest too about.
absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes things that we think are so simple and so obvious can have actually be real news to a patient and have transformative effect. One thing, by the way, I mean, just from my own experience about dealing with patients and lifestyle. So, as I say, I came out of this natural food business, so diet. I wrote a book about diet, healthy diet, and I had all this ideas and information about diet, and then I was learning qigong and yoga, and so I had a whole mass of information. And my poor patients would lie there, for 20 minutes,
Too
and
much.
I would not stop talking.
Yeah.
Kind of. And then another thing, what you do this, and what you do that, and what you do that, and their eyes were glazing over.
Yeah.
So it has to be appropriate.
Yes.
It's often down to, and that's something we become skilled at, just finding the right thing that can be the tipping point.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
People won't change everything. They can change one thing sometimes. That will trigger a change.
Yep.
And I love it. I had a patient once, actually, who was an acupuncturist, who very kind of well, shorthand, lots of liver cheese stagnation.
Yeah. We get
And and so I treated him, and we talked about it, and he knew everything about it, and he understood, and we weren't really getting anywhere. And then I suddenly had this bright idea. See, I said, why don't you go and join a samba dancing group? I think I had it was
a
like,
download. Fine download.
it was an epiphany. It was a
Yeah.
download. And I saw him a couple of weeks later, and he was so happy. He'd gone to this samba dancing class, you see. So first of all, he was moving,
Yep. Exactly.
creating the chi. And then he was surrounded by all these beautiful,
Yep.
minimally
Samba
dressed
woman. Yep.
samba. And
And picking up
I
just
could,
the vibe and the energy of that. So healing.
I could have said, "Oh, you need to meditate, or you need to do an hour's standing qigong every day." But it's just for him that was just the right
Yeah.
piece.
So in your app's catalog library, you need samba lessons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
add that.
yeah. We've got 5 main categories, then we can have others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. I mean, things that so much that heals someone, it's so not linear. It's not, it's sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's not even the acupuncture. Sometimes it's just being in the room with a practitioner, someone that cares about them. It's sometimes like what we're saying, just giving them the right advice that changes things for them. There's so much that goes into healing. And I mean, honestly, someone could probably self-heal themselves without even acupuncture, but through like the lifestyle habits. But it would take a lot of dedication, and people don't really have that type of, we don't really have that type of society anymore. For instance, like how I go off and meditate for 10 days straight. Most people can't do that, but you can heal your body through only lifestyle habits for sure.
Yeah, and you've touched on a really important thing, which is reality.
Yeah.
So both for ourselves, and for our patients, there's a tendency to think, okay, I've taken up this new habit, or I've stopped that old habit, and 2 weeks later, I'm not cured, I'm not, change is really hard, I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Changing ourselves, whether it's on a physical level or a psychological or emotional level, and it requires real commitment.
Yeah.
If we want, for example, if we start to take up something like yoga because we think, this will help us on all kinds of levels, it's not about going to a yoga class once a week. That's not going to do anything. Well, it's
No.
going to do something.
I mean, yeah, but it's
It's
about
daily practice, meditation, daily practice. Diet is really a really good example. People tend to, there's a great tendency to suddenly take up some new diet, maybe a challenging diet, I'm going to cut out this, that, and the other and stuff, and keep to it rigorously for a couple of weeks and then abandon it. That's incredibly common.
Yeah.
And any change of diet we have we have to be kind to ourselves, and it has to be something that we have to look at the long term. Is
Yeah.
this diet, unless there's an acute problem, is this a diet I can happily enjoy for a year, 2 years, 5 years, for the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Not something I'm going to have to force myself to do for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of patient education as well.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah, it's managing their expectations
yeah,
and helping them to navigate how to make lifestyle changes, really tiptoeing into doing that, not overwhelming someone with everything at once.
yeah,
Also, like what you said too before, not over explaining things or over communicating about stuff, even if we're excited about it, because we have to think of their perspective.
exactly. Something that's just occurred to me is that I know that in the discussion of patient compliance, which is talked about a lot, one of the things is advised is to, well, first of all, going back a bit, not giving advice. That's really important. I don't think we should give advice. We should offer information.
Yeah,
That
that's a
is
really
because,
good distinction. Yeah.
yeah, it's advising,
Yeah.
because we're such contrary creatures. You give patients advice and they go, yes, doc, sure, doc, yeah. But part of them doesn't like being given advice. And so
Yeah.
they actually resent it and
Yeah.
reject it. So if we just go, well, look, we say in Chinese medicine that blah, 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 or there is evidence that.
What I say, yeah, that's exactly what I've done. I
Yeah,
teach people, say, according to Chinese medicine, don't make it an opinion, just make it a fact, and
yeah,
just give them the information, which is what your app does.
yeah. But the other thing is that, going back to research on compliance, is that dialoguing with the patient about what they are able and happy to commit to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's suppose you say, well, look, there's this Qigong practice that's really good for the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and this self-massage. Um, how many times a week do you think
Mm-hmm.
do it? Instead of
Yep.
I want you to do it every day.
Exactly.
That's okay. Well, you can do that in the app. You can go, okay, so set it up to do it 3 times a week. And then you can talk to them the next time. How's it going?
Yeah.
Have you been able to keep it up? Well, you probably know from the feedback. Practice, you'll probably know from the feedback from the app. But, do you think you could increase it? Do you got capacity to do that? So just really working with people,
Yep.
not on high,
Dictating.
godlike.
Yes.
You must do.
Yes. And if you don't, I will not take you as my patient. Sometimes that actually is a real thing. And that's the other thing too, we can even talk about is like a lot of practitioners will get triggered when their patients don't take their advice and they don't follow what they've suggested. So that is something a practitioner needs to understand and needs to learn how to manage, is to not take things personally from their patients. So even if they are helping them, like what we're talking about, and prescribing things on the app for them to do, if a patient comes back, says they didn't do it, it's okay. It's okay.
And then an inquiry, what
Exactly. Get curious.
what was the impediment?
Yes.
Oh, well, I just don't have any time. My kids get up at 6 and I have to give them breakfast and I have to go to work. And then, you talk about, well, is there a space in your day? Just working with, really.
Help them figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're on a little healing journey with the patient.
So it's kind of their choice as much as your prescription.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so just for the app lowdown for people that are watching. So a practitioner purchases the app. There are the 5 different categories.
I think they subscribe.
Oh, subscribe.
Or maybe I should know this. There may be a purchase and a subscription option.
Well, subscribe probably means it's the yearly fee versus the one-time fee. Yeah. So it subscribes to the app. And then there's the 5 different categories, which are food, the acupressure, the qigong. What's the other ones?
Meditation
Meditation.
and self-massage. Yeah,
And
Tom says it's a monthly or annual
yeah,
subscription.
so it's a subscription. Yeah.
Apologies. Sorry, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks. Yeah.
And then they can set up their branding. So it's coming from them.
Yeah.
And with their patients, they can prescribe anything out of those categories that they want to their patient. And they can put little notes to their patient as well. I think I read that on your website. They can put notes to their patient. You prescribe it to the patient. A patient gets it for free on their end on a free app.
Correct.
And then the patient has notifications for when to do their little homework. And when they do it, it gives them a little good job and roots them on.
So just filling out a bit the prescription. So a practitioner can, let's suppose somebody comes with chronic lower back pain, with diagnosis of kidney deficiency. So the practitioner can go, okay, here are 5 acupressure points, and there's a video to show exactly how you find them and how do you stimulate them. Here's a more general self-massage for the lower back. Here's a qigong practice to benefit the lower back. Here's a series of dietary recipes to strengthen the kidneys. So they put together a program, but we also have in the app pre-made programs. So for practitioners, that if a practitioner feels that is, a bit time consuming to have to kind of,
it's even quicker.
Yeah, we have a whole series of, of prescriptions for common problems that would include those categories. So it's just a single.
Oh, that's great. Honestly, I think just for the food part of it alone, it's worth it, because I remember trying to help patients with their food and what they should eat and shouldn't eat. And it's really time consuming. It's really time. So that alone is going to be so life-changing for the patient practitioner healing journey. Also, what you're doing too, I think, which is great, is empowering the patient.
Yes, but I should say there are, of course, other impediments. I mean, I know you have poverty in the United States.
Yes.
We have poverty here.
Yes.
Some people can't cook.
Oh, yes.
Some people, not only they've never been taught to cook,
yes,
but they don't have cooking pans.
Yes.
They can't afford the gas or electricity for the stove. So there are real problems. I mean, so we can't solve everything, but if you give people recipe sheets for, qi tonifying soups and qi tonifying meals, that does require people to have some basic cooking skills and basic equipment to cook with, and
But
enough. But they're coming to Acupuncture, so they probably have enough money to buy the food
hopefully.
that they.
Also, in the food section, though, is there just like a suggested diet for, let's say, dampness?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that alone, I think, just, oh, see, like Lynn just asked, are there recommendations like avoid dairy? That's exactly what I was thinking, because just that alone, so many patients don't even know that something like dairy is contributing to their symptoms. And if you can just prescribe like a dampness diet to them and they could see, oh, I actually shouldn't be eating dairy. I had no idea. That alone is helpful, even if they don't have the ability to cook.
Tom might, if he's still here. Yeah, Tom, for some reason, it's a bit difficult to get into the app at the moment for me.
It's okay, we have Tom.
There's some general, yeah, there is definitely, because I remember I co-wrote it. It was so long ago. General dietary advice.
Yeah, I think there is when I was looking online. Yeah.
Good foods to eat, foods to avoid, an explanation,
Yeah.
So how many times have we tried to explain to a patient what dampness or phlegm and dampness are,
Exactly.
So we explain it to them.
Yeah,
So
Tom says yes.
says,
dietary advice based on TCM patterns. That's exactly it. Yes.
no.
That alone is so time saving for the practitioner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's not just time saving, but if I don't know if you ever, I'm sure you have, we all have probably had reason to go and, when we're not well, go and see a doctor or a practitioner, and they can tell us stuff. I've mentioned this before in the discussion. They can tell us stuff, but it's quite an intense encounter, and we can so easily forget.
Yeah.
Do you think you've explained to a patient what does it mean to have dampness, and how that helps explain some of their symptoms, what they can do about it? But if someone was to go along and ask them the next day what you said, they might not be. They might be able to.
Or they'd really misinterpret it.
Yeah, exactly, or misinterpret.
Yeah, I mean, so often if a practitioner over communicates too and then says something like, oh, you have dampness in your spleen, and then a patient leaves with that information in their head, then they think there's something wrong with their spleen, and then they freak out, and then they won't come back for acupuncture.
Okay, so Tom has posted, there's a full list of the current content of the app, and he's given a link. And there's another question, Tom.
Yes.
You ad hoc recommendations. That means can the practitioner add in their own information? Let's just wait for an answer from Tom.
Okay.
I clearly didn't quite do my homework.
Well, from what I read on your website, you can like leave little recommendations. Yeah, so you can add notes and links to external websites. So yeah.
So, and just another thing that is really important to understand is this app is accessible via a mobile device and also through the website.
Oh, good.
So,
okay, so they don't have to do it on their phone.
No. So a practitioner in their office can do it all from their laptop.
Okay, great. And the patient?
I think.
I asked a trick question again. Yes, Tom says yes.
Tom, can the patient access the info from the website? This is very strange. There's this invisible.
Isn't that him here with us? No, he says yes.
Invisible person.
He's our third brain.
Well, he's the brains behind is the brains behind the app.
It's okay. Basically, the app is
John,
amazing.
and John.
No, I mean, honestly, I think this is really transformational. I think it's really pioneering of you guys to even think of this. It's not something I ever even thought of, which I don't, I don't know why. It's something that practitioners do all the time, is give patients homework. It's such an important part of, healing. I really do think, I mean, no exaggeration, honestly, every acupuncturist should have this app. Like, truly. I mean, truly. It's just, it makes no sense not to. And it's a great price too. It's very inexpensive for the full year, or even monthly. And what it does too, since I'm the business acupuncturist, is, really contributes to your patients getting better and has that extra added benefit, like you said, of showcasing that you really care about their healing, which then in turn will just expand and grow your word of mouth more, because your patients will just genuinely enjoy their time with you, along with get really better, which then turns into that organic word of mouth system. So, I mean, it's really win, 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 win.
And as you say, it's not expensive. It's less than one. The annual subscription is less than one consultation fee.
I hope so. Let's just say I hope so.
Oh, it is.
As the business acupuncturist, I hope no one's prices are that low. Sometimes they are, though. So it should be not even the price of one consultation. Yes. Yes.
Half or a third of the price of one consultation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal for all that.
No, yeah. Yeah. And will you guys continue to expand the library that's in there, or are you just going to stick with this, or is that
No,
there?
we are continually developing it. So, for example, just recently we added moxibustion.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, very thorough videos about how to use moxa safely, moxa stick. Because again, that can be a useful home prescription.
Oh, yeah.
Not only, and also actually the app, just I should say in passing, the app includes, I don't know if people are familiar with it, but actually many years ago, Tom and I developed the Deborah Betts app, which was, well, it was a DVD and then it became an app. I think it became an app, which was just a fabulous, comprehensive. It was, I was trying to find the right words. It was for helpers, doulas, partners in preparation for and during childbirth.
Yeah. A whole app on that. That's amazing.
Well, it was, yeah. Was it an app? It was definitely a DVD. Going back to
DVD,
that, and possibly on the web. Sorry, I've been involved in so many different.
Yeah. Okay.
You're anyway, that's now embedded in here in this app.
Oh, so, okay.
People found that incredibly valuable. We had some incredible, so helpers wasn't only that the women going into labor found it really helpful for pain relief and for speeding up labor. The partner, it was really important for the partner to have something to do, to be involved, instead of just watching, getting anxious, being shouted at. They could help their partner.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's the same, going back to the moxa, often we want to recommend moxa at bladder 67 or at stomach 36, or how can you get a patient to do it safely?
Yeah, safely.
Burn themselves, not burn the house down, put out the moxa stick safely, all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
a recent development, and that's the kind of approach we want to take. When we get a good idea for new editions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, great. So it is constantly expanding then as well. Great. Okay. Does anybody on here have any questions they want to know about the app? Let us know in the chat box. We'll see if anybody does. We only have a little crew on here. Thanks for coming live, everybody. Always fun. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think we've covered a good amount. Hi, Catherine.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole psychology of the lifestyle habits with your patients are invaluable for their healing. It's invaluable for the success of your business, your patient's healing and your business. All of the offerings on the app are vast. Oh, and we didn't even talk about it. Your entire Qigong library is on the app.
No, not my entire Qigong library.
Oh,
But,
a lot of it, right?
no, my entire Qigong video library is now 40 hours. So no.
Oh, okay. That's a lot. But some of your Qigong video library, right? Oh, look, Catherine says she's had the app. Catherine says, I want to use it more. And of course, it's great to see Peter and also me. Thank you.
I'd like to reply in kind, Catherine, but I can't see you. So. Oh,
okay.
Catherine, you got the Qigong book too. Great.
Oh, good.
That's great.
Yep.
That,
Keely, do you have the app? She says she loves everything about the app, or maybe just what we talked about. Yeah. So then for everybody that watches this video, and for a week after you watch the video, for anybody that is watching the replay, we have a special little sign up deal. So you can always sign up and get 2 weeks free. So you can try out the app, but then also I'll give you guys a little code so that if you decide to sign up afterwards, which you definitely should, you can get 25% off. So I'll put that in the chat now for you guys on here, and then I'll post it up with the information for the replay people too. So there really is no reason to not just check out the app. Yeah, so much better than slips of paper that are lost before they get home. Exactly. That's what Lynn says. That's exactly it. Because we know that we have all sent our patients home with Post-it notes. Also, if you guys do want to sign up, make sure that you use this code through the website, their website, not through the app store on your phone. Okay, let me put it in here. Okay. So that's our little prize for today. You're welcome.
so yeah, I think we covered everything.
Everything.
I can think of. So
At least there's more conversations we could have deviated off to, but another time.
yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have
We tried to stay focused.
plenty more conversations in the future.
Yeah. Yes. So, and you have a book. Let's just plug your book right now too. Right? You want it? Because we want to have another talk on your new book.
Yes.
Next
I
month.
don't want to plug it fully today because it's not yet universally on sale.
Okay. Then everybody can wait in mystery.
I'll just tantalize you by saying that it's a novel.
Yes.
That I'm very excited about.
Yes.
And it'll be on sale in a couple of weeks, so I'll be sort of sending out messages widely about it. But it's not really anything to do with Chinese medicine, but it's broadly aimed at the young adult market, but it's what we call crossover. So I think everybody can enjoy reading it, but it's got a strong environmental theme.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, amazing.
Behind it. Yeah.
Tom says the discount is on the annual subscriptions. Okay, thanks, Tom. And can you put up the link to your website too, please, Tom? He's our little assistant. Yes. So yes, you wrote a fiction novel, which is exciting. So we'll be talking about that probably at the end of next month or something. We'll come on and chat about it because I'm going to read it first
Yeah,
when it becomes available in the States.
yeah.
It's exciting. Okay, great. Thank you, Tom.
So it's now my supper time.
Perfect timing.
Different timeline here. Yeah.
It is late afternoon snack time for me.
Right.
Early afternoon snack time.
So thanks, Alyssa. Thanks a lot.
Yes,
And
thanks for
thanks
chatting. Always
to,
fun.
thanks to everybody who came along and everybody who will watch it in the record, watch the recording.
Our replay,
Hopefully.
yeah. We'll post it up on YouTube, and I think you guys are going to put it on your YouTube channel too, so we'll have it out.
And we've probably got a contact email on the website. So any further questions, suggestions, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'm really excited to see the app blow up in the acupuncture world and have every acupuncturist utilizing it. I will certainly now include it in, like what I'm teaching practitioners system-wise for how to build a successful practice. Because it's truly like an excellent system for the homework part of what you do with your patients. So I love it.
Great.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks.
and chit-chatting and sharing everything. Always
Yeah.
great to get some of your knowledge and experience and brain and stories. It's always so fun.
It's fun. Great. Bye now. Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.